Okay, good morning, everyone. In the last lecture, we have started with the concept of mobile IP. In that, we have seen one concept named as mobile advertisement. Okay, in that, at the end of the lecture, we have I have told that in the next lecture, we are going to see one more concept, that is agent solicitation. Okay, so today in this lecture we are going to see what is agent solicitation and the concept related to agent solicitation. Okay, so what is agent solicitation? Before that we know that what is mobile node registration. Okay, so when a mobile node moves into the foreign network, okay, it waits for agent advertisement from foreign agent. Okay, or if it is moving back into the home network, okay, then it also waits for the agent advertisement from the home agent. What is agent advertisement? We have seen. Okay, but if there are no agent advertisement present in the network and still you are waiting for receiving those advertisement, or the time between two consecutive agent advertisements is supposed too large. Okay, and too large that you are not receiving any COA, or you are not receiving any address. Okay, in that case, what to do? Okay, so in that particular situation, what mobile node has to do, that we are going to say, that mobile node is send the agent solicitation message. In that situation, mobile node send the agent solicitation message. Okay, because the mobile node without any address is of no use. We know that, because whenever the mobile node is going to leave the home network, definitely outside the home network nobody is going to identify that particular mobile till it will not going to have the proper address. Okay, that address is care of address, we know that. Okay, because it will not be able to accept any packet from anywhere. Okay, so if you are not receiving advertisement, that means mobile node, so you have to send agent solicitation message. Okay, so typically a mobile node can send three solicitation messages, one per second. So as soon as it enters the new network, so as soon as mobile node enters a foreign network, it sends a three solicitation messages. Okay, so if it does not receive the advertisement and these three messages are sent one per second, that means within 3 seconds all three messages will be sent out. Okay, now these messages are similar to the messages used in the fixed network, which are router solicitation messages. Okay, so same message format is used for this one also. So in this lecture we are not going to see the structure of solicitation message, because same can be found out in the fixed network also. But what if after the three solicitation message or messages, after sending three solicitation messages, you still do not receive the care of address, it means mobile node still do not receive any kind of care of address. So if you are moving into a foreign network, don't get any advertisement. Okay, so you are sending a agent solicitation message. Okay, you have to send out total three solicitations, but still you have not acquired any COA. Then if this does happen, that means there is no agent present in the network, or maybe agent is too busy that it is not accepting your request. Okay, so at that time we should take care that the mobile node, that is us here, that is us, should not flood the network with our requests. Okay, should not flood the network with our request. So to avoid this, solicitation must be decreased at a rate of exponential to avoid the flooding the network. Okay, अभी यहाँ पे what is the meaning of exponential decrease? So initially suppose we are sending three messages, that is solicitation messages, which are at per second, मतलब 3 सेकंड में 3 messages we are sending. So next time if you don't get any reply, so next time next 3 solicitation will be sent at 1 per 2 second. Okay, even then if you don't receive any message, then next time we will send 1 per 4 second, that is exponential, then 1 per 8 second, and this goes on until maximum interval between solicitation is reached. The maximum interval is how much? Is 1 minute. Okay, just is about 1 minute. The maximum 1 minute interval is given. So that is called exponential solicitation. Okay, so after that you have to stop and conclude that there are no agents available for giving your COA. Okay, but this situation occurs very rarely, as someone will give you a COA, either a foreign agent or by the DHCP. Okay, so you will be able to acquire the COA then. Okay, so we can summarize that here, either by agent advertisement or by agent solicitation, we will acquire a COA. Now, the next step after acquiring the COA is you are able to receive the packets, but still you will not receive the packet because your exact location or your COA is not known to the home agent. Okay, because home agent is the main router which is responsible for delivering packet to you or delivering packet to the mobile node. So next step here is mobile, that is next step is registration. Okay, but agent solicitation is not done only for acquiring the COA. Sometimes we have a COA but our connection is suppose poor. Okay, that means our communication is not up to the required QoS standards. Okay, our communication is not up to the QoS standard. Okay, so in that case also we can send a solicitation message to change the connection. Okay, so in that case also we can send solicitation messages, and after that we can start with the registration process. So that the next step for mobile node is, after acquiring the COA, is the registration with the home agent. Okay, so if we are in the foreign network or if we are coming back to the home network, again we have to do the re-registration. Okay, so we'll see how registration can be done. So having received the COA, MN has to register with the home agent. MN has to register with the home agent. Okay, the main purpose of this registration is to inform home agent about the current location of mobile node or correct forwarding of packet. Okay, because if your suppose address is changed, home agent must know it, otherwise home agent will or HA will not be able to provide or forward packets to mobile node. Okay, so registration can be done in two different ways depending on the location of COA. That means if your COA is at your foreign agent, then registration is done differently compared to if your COA is acquired by the DHCP, which is available at the mobile node, which is, that is COA at the mobile node, which is also called as a co-located COA, then registration can be done in a different way. Okay, so let's see the both methods one by one. The first case, okay, so the first case, suppose if the care of address is at the foreign agent, care of address is at the foreign agent. Just a bit. care of address at the COA is at the foreign agent. Okay, then how to do the registration? Okay, so on your screen you can see activity timing diagram here. Here you can see, okay, or flow diagram भी बोल सकते हैं हम इसको. So what we can say, which happens between the mobile node foreign agent, which happens between mobile node foreign agent and the home agent, that is HA. So when mobile node acquires the COA, okay, it sends the registration request to the foreign agent. It says the registration request to the foreign agent, because foreign agent is a place where your care of address will be located. Okay, so once this foreign agent receives the registration request, it understands that this has to be forwarded to the home agent. Okay, so it forwards the same request to the home agent. Now once a registration request is received by the home agent, now home agent sets up the mobility binding. Okay, that means it sets up the kind of a context. So what is inside that particular binding? So it binds the IP address of the mobile node to care of address. Okay, just like for example, when we do not have the network coverage, we can forward our calls to some other numbers, so automatically calls will be forwarded to that particular new number. In the similar case, that is an analogy. Okay, so if packets are arrived at our IP address, now home agent should be able to forward this to the care of address. Okay, so home agent performs mobility binding, which maps COA to the IP address of the mobile node. And additionally, this binding also contains the lifetime for which this registration remains valid. Okay, that means once you register, for how much time is registration remains valid. Okay, so that is why there is a restriction on lifetime of registration, because sometimes after registration or after a few seconds or after a few minutes, if a mobile node leaves the foreign network again, then the binding should be deleted. Okay, but if there is no restrictions on the timing of registration, then that binding will remain valid for infinite amount of time. Okay, and it is nothing but the waste of IP addresses, because COA is also a kind of IP address. So binding should be expired after a certain interval of time to avoid such cases, or to avoid addresses which are no longer used. Okay, so because of this lifetime restriction, mobile node has to re-register itself before binding is expired. Okay, so after setting up the mobility binding, HA, that is home agent, sends a reply to the foreign agent that registration is successful or it may be rejected. Also, there may be the several reasons for that, but let's consider the registration was successful. So reply was sent by home agent to foreign agent, and foreign agent forwards that particular reply to the mobile node, and your registration is completed. Okay, so when registration reply is out received out, that means registration is completed, and now mobile node will start receiving the packets. Okay, so that is what the first case. Okay, we will see the second case. Okay, now case number 2, if COA is co-located. Okay, consider the second case. So in the second case, when mobile node acquires the COA from DHCP, so co-located COA, that is a COA is at a mobile node. So in that case, foreign agent is not involved. Okay, because you are acquiring the COA from DHCP. So in that case, communication for registration will happen directly between mobile node and the home agent. Okay, so this is a much simpler process. So in that case, mobile node sends a registration request to the HA directly to the home agent. If it is accepted, the same process will be carried out, like assigning the mobile binding, then declaring the lifetime for which this registration remains valid. So all the same stuff will be done by the home agent, and reply will be directly given to mobile node. Okay, and this is the same process again, which is carried out when the mobile node moves back into the home network. So case number 2 is applicable to two scenarios: when mobile node acquires the COA from DHCP, that is the first scenario, or when mobile node moves back into the home network again, so it re-register itself in a home agent. So in this two scenarios, second case is applicable. Okay, then next, so now we can see how this particular registration is done, or what is the format for registration. So for registration request messages are sent by the mobile node. Okay, now on your screen you are seeing the certain packet format here. You can able to see the packet format is given here. You can see here. Okay, now for sending registration request, obviously IP packets are used. So IP packet contain a payload field in which this registration format is inserted in the payload field of IP packet. And this IP packet is sent over the UDP to the foreign agent and subsequently to the home agent. Okay, so at the transport layer we are not using TCP, but we will use the UDP for registration request. Why? We will see. And here at network layer we will use the IP packet for sending registration request, and this format is included in the payload of the IP packet. Okay, so why we are using UDP? Because UDP is having low overhead. That means it is faster than TCP and gives the better performance in the wireless environment. Okay, so if you are using IP packet, it must have source address and the destination address. It must have source address, that is SA, and destination address, that is DA. Okay, so for IP packet, source address will be IP address of mobile node. Okay, and destination address will be IP address of home agent. Okay, so if it is the case 1, then that not directly home agent. First it will be a foreign agent, and then it will be a home agent. Okay, so first mobile node sends IP packet to the foreign agent. Okay, first will be the foreign agent and then the home agent, because foreign agent will use same packet and forwarded with the destination address equal to the home agent. Okay, now in the UDP packet, destination port is set to 434. Okay, which understand that this is the registration message. Okay, so this is how the particular thing is carried out. We will see the different fields that are involved in the registration. Okay, so the type field for the registration is set to 1. This type field for the registration is set to 1. Okay, it indicates the registration request. Okay, then there are several individual bits. You can see here, you will see that. Then forward followed by there is a field called lifetime. Okay, so as I said, for how much time you want this registration to be valid, mobile node suggests that it wants this registration to be valid for a certain amount of time. Okay, and that time is indicated in lifetime field. Okay, followed by the home address. Okay, now home address, Now IP address of the mobile node, that was IP address required in the home network. So it's an original IP address which is valid in the home network. Okay, because binding has to be done. So this home address should be mapped to the COA. Okay, so next field is home agent. Okay, so home agent field indicates to which agent this particular registration request should be sent. Okay, then followed by COA. Now COA is newly acquired after solicitation or advertisement that the COA is mentioned in the registration request. So that is the home address will be mapped to this particular COA, and it also indicates the end point of tunnel. Okay, now COA may be add foreign agent or it may be add at mobile node itself. Okay, so then there is a next is identification field or ID field. It is a 64-bit field which is used to match a registration request with the replies. So suppose let's say you are sending a registration request with ID, suppose 1 2 3 and 1 2 3 4. Okay, and you are waiting for confirmation from home agent whether the registration was accepted or not. Okay, for a longer time you have not received a reply, so you will send again a new registration request, and at that time ID will change to some new value. Suppose वो new value क्या रहेगा 1256, suppose 1256. Okay, now, after sending registration with this ID, you have received a reply from a home agent. Then you have to check which registration has been accepted. Whether the first one is accepted, that is 1 2 3 4 is accepted, or the second one is accepted. Okay, that is 1 2 5 6. Okay, so to confirm that, this ID is very useful. Okay, so this field is primarily included to protect against the replay attack of the registration. Sometimes intruder will try to flood the network using the registration request message by sending too many requests. So to avoid that, this particular ID field is very useful. Okay, and the last field is here is extension. Okay, so it contains parameters such as authentication, encryption, and so on. Okay, so at least authentication parameter must be mentioned in the registration request message. So minimum requirement for extension is including authentication parameters. Okay, so now let's look at the 8 bits. Okay, which are used here. The first bit is the S bit. यहाँ पे सारे जो bit दिख रहे हैं ऊपर, the first bit is the S bit. Okay, that indicates if S is equal to 1, that means you want simultaneous binding. Okay, that means if this is not the first time you are registering, suppose sometimes you are registering for the second time. Okay, remember lifetime indicates amount of time for which the registration is valid. Okay, so before lifetime expires, you send a new registration request. Okay, so at that time you don't want to previous registration to be invalid immediately. Okay, so there comes a point for a shorter amount of time or short moment of time, you have two bindings, and to retain the period, simultaneous binding is set to 1. Okay, obviously this is to avoid disconnectivity and avoid the loss of data. So during re-registration we do this. Okay, because when second time you are re-registering, then it may be accepted, it may be rejected. Based on that, you don't want to lose any data, so that's why this simultaneous binding is very useful. Okay, then the next bit is B bit. Here you can see B is equal to 1 indicates a mobile node wants to receive broadcast packet also. Okay, so sometimes you can avoid using broadcast packets because you are moving into the foreign network. That means you are not part of the current network actually, so you don't want to accept any broadcast packet within the network. Okay, so you can request that by sending B equal to 1. So same thing can be applied if you do not want to receive any broadcast packet from the home network also, because you no longer belong to home network. So in that case, B bit is very useful. Then the next is D here. Okay, so here D indicates decapsulation. Okay, so remember, packet arrives at foreign agent and with encapsulation or encapsulated. So who is doing the decapsulation? Whether a foreign agent will do the decapsulation or the mobile node. So that is indicated by the D field. Okay, so decapsulation D field is equal to 1, indicates decapsulation by the mobile node, that is used for co-located COA. Okay, the next two bits are a type of encapsulation M and G that we have seen previously also, that is used by the mobile node, that is minimal or GRE. Okay, किसके लिए use होता है, it shows that. Then small r है, okay, which was previously used for compression, but now it is a 0 and ignored, we not use this. Then next is T, which is similar to the agent advertisement, whether a mobile node supports the reverse tunneling or it is requesting reverse tunneling or not. Okay, that is mentioned by the T field. If T field is equal to 1, that means mobile node is requesting reverse tunneling also. Okay, and lastly X, which is also 0 and it is ignored by the home agent. Okay, so these are the fields in the registration request. Once home agent receives this request, it performs this mobility binding and sends out the reply. Okay, then how the reply are sent, okay, that we will see that the registration reply is relatively easier format. Okay, so there is no individual bits involved. Okay, in this one, so registration reply basically similar to the registration request, it uses a UDP for transportation. The type field is 3 here. You can see the type field is 3 here. It indicates it is a registration reply message. It is a registration reply message followed by a code field, followed by the code field, which indicates status of registration request, whether the registration was accepted, whether it was accepted or not, whether it was rejected, what are the conditions for that. Okay, if it is rejected, why it was rejected, so many things are mentioned over there using the code field. Okay, so we will see that details of the code field in the next slide. Okay, then the lifetime. Okay, whether the requested lifetime is accepted or not, that is also indicated in the lifetime field. Again, it is seconds, the registration, how much seconds the registration is valid. If it was successful, then followed by the home address. Okay, how home address is IP address of a MN, that we all know. So it was requested in the registration request, then there is a home agent. Okay, so which home agent is giving you the reply, that is also mentioned, IP of the home agent or IP address of the home agent, and then the identification field. Okay, which is again same ID which is sent in the registration request for which this reply is valid. Suppose if suppose it was the first time, so we use 1234 as ID. So if this reply is for that registration request, same ID is copied into the particular field. And then again, there is a extension part which is not mentioned in this particular diagram. So extension part again must include at least authentication parameters for confirmation of mobile node identity. So that is what the extension is. So this is how the registration can be accepted or the rejected. Okay, then the last is what happens for the code field. Here we have seen the code field, here you can see. Okay, so what is there in the code field? So the code field of the registration reply has several codes into it. Okay, if registration is accepted, that means it is successful, code can be either 0 or 1. Here you can see alag codes are there. For FA, there are certain codes defined by, denied by HA, there are certain codes. Okay, so that is the registration is accepted. 0 is registration accepted, 1 is registration accepted, but simultaneous mobile binding unsupported. Okay, so 1 means registration is accepted, but simultaneous binding is not supported. Okay, so you have to expire your previous binding and then only you can re-register. Okay, so that is indicated by code 1. Okay, if registration is denied, there can be two reasons why registration can be denied. Once, registration can be denied by the foreign agent, or it can be denied also by the home agent. Okay, so there are several reasons registration can be denied. For example, suppose if foreign agent or home agent, both of them or one of them have too many nodes to handle, it is busy, they cannot accept any more registration, they can reject your registration request. So for that, the code is 65, or here for by HA the code is 129. Then if you do not have any sufficient resources, then they can be rejected your registration by requesting the code 66 here. You can see here 66. In HA it will be 130. Okay, if authentication is failed by the mobile node or home agent, different codes are used, like here, see here 67, 68 are authentication codes. Here 131, 132 are authentication code. Okay, by foreign agent and by home agent also. 129. Okay, sorry. 130. Sorry, 131 and 132. Okay. So this table shows you all the reasons, what is the status of registration, and after successful registration, now you will start receiving the packets, or mobile node will start receiving the packets. Okay, so I hope it is clearly understood, because it is very simple process. So the process is, once you move into the foreign network, first acquire a COA by giving a agent advertisement. Okay, and if agent advertisement is not getting successful, so along with that we use the agent solicitation message or solicitation. So after acquiring the COA, either by FA or by MN, co-located COA, so register yourself, or MN register itself with the home agent, so that home agent is aware of your or mobile node's current location, and then mobile node can start receiving the packets or can start communicating with the correspondent node. If correspondent node wants to send a packet to the mobile node, it can approach to HA, and HA, though the HA home agent is having binding between the original IP of mobile node and COA, so the packet will be forwarded to the mobile node. Okay, so that is what the solicitation and MN registration in the case of when the mobile node is moving out of the home network and it goes to the foreign network.